Yes, Bad Mind TV, walk one, back again. Find a little location, outdoors thing, you get me? Boom, looks like it's gonna rain, but I got some roof over me. But yeah, hear what we're saying, yeah? I've come here today, obviously, to talk about all the YouTubers that seem to be bashing Islam. You get me? And I feel like I have to stand forward for the brothers them, cause I know that the brothers them are not good at articulating them, so cause they don't have to really, you get me? I'm sure it says in Islam that you don't have to really prove yourself to nobody, you just do what you do, either they believe or they don't. So when all these YouTubers are going out there and they're spouting bare things and saying these things, I had to do some research into the UK before my time, before my mother's time, before my father's time, before my nanny time, them, yeah, way back, yeah. I had to go back in my little archive, yeah, to check this, yeah, cause this is the platform of the conversation. Now it seems that these YouTubers, I'm only talking about the YouTubers now, I'm not talking about members of society. These YouTubers seem to have an agenda where they're bashing Islam based on the saying things like the prophet of the religion had an underage wife, and I don't know the internet is it because I haven't read that myself, so I don't know. I only hear what people say, but they're spouting on about that, yeah. So that made me look. This is like white Americans and white, yeah, like most of the Americans seem to be like, and a couple of British podcasts seem to be slewing based on that specific point of the age of one of the wise with the last or the first, I don't know, but I think it's the last one. But I'm gonna show you what I found today on Google, funnily enough, you get me? And I thought I have to say something. I'm not making that go like that. There's no way I can do that. We're not doing that. So right, took a photo of it, right? And I asked Google, what was the age of law of consent of age of sex in the UK? What have the ages been? Where we're coming from? Imagine this. It says abstract in 1899, the age of sexual consent in some American jurisdictions was 9 years old. Yeah. It was ranged from 7 to 21 years old, and at present the range is from 11 to 18. So they say at present, now that's a Google. I took a photo of that. You get me? I took a picture of what I just read. Cause I don't need to think I'm reading things. I took that today. Yeah, right. And then the next one is England. That was the last one I took. So the next one's England. Yeah, and it says, I said the history. Same question. While the unrestricted age of consent is between 16 and 18, in all US state laws, it's the same again. So in 1890, the age is between 10 and 12 in most states, except Delaware, which is a black state, funny enough, but Delaware, it was 7 years old. You see that? That's a Google printout. All right, 1 second. Now we're going to look at UK. Right, in 1275, a long time ago, 1275, that's a long time, that's before even certain religions. The first age of consent was set in England at the age 12, yeah? The Statute of Westminster in 1875, the Offences Against a Persons Act raised, yeah, the age to 13 in Great Britain and Ireland, and then 10 years later in criminal law amendment in 1885, which became 16. So let me just put that there now. That's because that appears to us. I want you to read that, so I'm going to leave that there just so you can take a quick look at reading now for that card. I don't want no one to think that yeah. So that's a Google thing, that's Google today. You can see the date at the top, yeah. So what we're saying is that before these what you say, Islamic, they go out there bashing the religion and that, you get me? Before you go and do that, you need to look at where you're coming from. Now there's another video what I found of a man, and what he says is this country is a very, here in America have a have a narcissistic, controlling way, yeah. Basically, whatever they do, they say that you do. It's the same with all these stars and all that. I'm not going to go through no names, but people who are being called out saying they've been doing this and underage and all this. Don't you think it's kind of funny that the only people who push that agenda are the people in power? It's like the people who something there. So now we've got these YouTubers now, and they're going out there and they're pushing an agenda to say that, oh, it's this, the country that you came from does these same things. Salam alaikum. Yeah? So these countries do the same things. They push an agenda. And when they push an agenda now, it's almost like we have to, what could I say? We have to listen to them and take it as it's factually. So what I'm saying, after what I've just read, yeah, you have to balance out this thing. And yes, there are, what I'm saying is there's black Muslims in this country, a lot of them. A lot of them are reverts. The word reverts mean that they came to their religion outside of, so they've had a what could you see, a revelation. They've had a revelation, and then all of a sudden it's been revealed to them that they need to, you know, take their shahada and be a Muslim in whatever way that came to them. Yeah. Now, what I'm saying is, if that's the case, there's a lot of them here. I don't want other cultures to think that when the word Muslims mentioned, it's got something to do with paedophilia and sleeping with young girls and marrying young women. That's not the case. And if we want to really go into this thing deep, how often have you seen? How often has anyone seen except for this, like in them celebrities, how many times have they seen on the news in this country a charge of black man and a charge in something to do with sex with young girls and all that, like racketeering and when's the last time we've seen it? When have we seen it? We haven't. We've never seen that. We've never seen a mass group of black men involved in racketeering or bringing, or like in, what could you say, like bringing like an agenda of, okay then, there's 12 man and they're all on a charge for what's it called? Grooming? You don't see black man on grooming charges in a group. I'm talking about in a group, like I used to see certain Asians, certain Arabs, certain whatever. And then I don't want people to think that this is also, this is why I had to do this video, because it's a bit of both. You've got the white man pushing an agenda that Islam is some paedophilic religion and that blah blah blah. Then you have black brothers who are reverting to it and finding some kind of happiness and finding some goodness in the deen, yeah? And then now the brush is being tarred. So I feel like now, if I was somewhere and I says, oh listen, I'm this and I believe in this, I believe people are going to whisper and go, yeah, he might be one of them. He might be one of them. He might be, you know, like that. He might be one of them, buggy. He might be one of them. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to put the T word on it. That's a whole different thing. I'm talking about this thing here. So going out to all these YouTubers pushing this agenda, especially the white ones from America to the UK, look at your history in your country. Look at your history. Yeah, the laws, what you had here, it was okay to do what they're doing. It was all right. There was no problems. Yeah, there wasn't an issue. And then as soon as like you want to feel that you want to call them out. Yes, there are certain things that Islam needs to be called out on, but there's sections to it, and there's also cultures. So like the black culture don't have nothing in it when it goes in there. So when you like a quote in your thing, you have to know that there's certain people that it doesn't apply to. It doesn't apply to. There's never been a case of any in this country of blacks being involved in fucking racketeering women. Yeah, the closest black man get to that is being a pimp. So how come pimps aren't traffickers then? Cause pimps sell pum all over the country from north to south. So that means pimping is part of that as well. It's too far on the line. Yeah, to be calling out. I just don't like you calling it out like that when it's not like that for all. Yes, I've seen it on the news. Yeah, but then those guys that thingy, they you see, you're mixing the religion with people's sexual preferences, basically. It's just about people's sexual preferences, isn't it? So you're mixing it. It seems that yes, every time there's one of those cases, it seems that it's Asian type lads on those charges. I see it in it. So what? So that means that might be a preference to, like, that's what they're into. doesn't mean that it's part of their religion. But then if you're going to go back and mention what's mentioned in certain scriptures, where certain things is going on to do with underage, then we have to go back to the law of this country. It says in the Christianity thing, in the Bible, to judge not lest ye be judged. Yeah. So that means you can't go around spouting them things as a Christian anyway. And half of these people are Christians, but they're spouting on about, oh, that these people are this, and these people are that. And they're going on YouTube and spouting a whole bunch of things on YouTube, yeah? Without looking at themselves first, yeah? Yeah? And basically the UK seems to be built on paedophilia. That's what it seems to be built on. It seems that they had laws that allowed people. You know what it actually said when it was read out in Google, when you go deep, it said that if you, in America, if a man, if a man got with a 12-year-old girl and then laid with her, yeah, they would then say that was your wife and you have to marry her. That's how the country worked. Like say if you could do that, there wasn't no criminal offence. It was you have to keep that, yeah, do that with that, and then you have to stay with it, kind of thing. That's how the government's thing was. And so where we're going with that then? Doesn't that sound a bit like the Islam way a little bit then? Doesn't sound like everybody was doing the same thing, innit? Everyone was doing the same things then. If we're going to say that, they was doing the same thing at the same time. The 1400s, I'm sure Islam was around the 1400s. These people was going back 1200s on this thing. Did it say 1200? That's 200 years before. So where's the balance here? I want someone to come to me with the answer now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this on all them Islamophobes they're called that are on YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna plug this on every channel. Any one of my subscribers, big up, yeah. If you can do the same, anyone who are Islamic, do the same and push this here, because I want them to answer the question: how can you point the finger with the countries that you come from had a law to say only could marry 7 years old as the youngest? 7 in some states of America. Yeah, and here it was a range between 8 to 12. So what, go on? Like, I can't have people pointing the finger and you come from that. You can't. That's like me running around saying, the fish them fi dead, fish fi dead, and one of my relatives are fish. It doesn't make no sense, innit? Because I'm not gonna say he can't run around spouting that because one of his relatives are fish. You understand what I'm saying to you? Those who know what the word fish means, and coming out, go down that road there. But yeah, so boom. If someone can have a look at that and say, you know what, this geezer, he's got a point here. Stop pointing the finger at people when you come from nothing but crosses. Yeah. Now, I got this video here. I don't know if I can find it. This man, he just talks too. He just says it too perfect. It is what it is. Yeah. You know when someone just says something too, it's just perfect, you know. How he's describing what I'm describing, but he says it. He just says it just too. Yo. Hold on, shorts. First. I bet you I'm not even gonna be able to find it, am I? I'm sure I saved it, man. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, man, but it's a shame because I want you to play that. Yeah, so to my subscribers, look into what I'm on about there. This country's built on paedophilia based on what I found. And I think what I found today, not a lot of people know. Yeah, you live in a country that was founded upon it, and that they was behind it. So now you can hear why so many Caucasians get done for those crimes, because it's in their blood. It was law. That's why they don't look at it as no problem. That's why they don't look at it. That's why they're asking the government to be treated as a sexuality, because they're gonna go back into their archives, you know, and realize, yo, remember this country was once illegal to be gay. It's called buggery. You could get 5 years, you know, for doing them things to a man, you know, as a man. Yeah, and now they can get married. So what I'm saying is, it's very topsy-turvy like this in this country, innit? Then we'll cut one day and say, no, you can't do that. Then the next minute you can't do that. So what I'm saying is, in years to come, they might turn around and change the law again in this country. It might not be in our lifetime, but in the next generation's lifetime, that's what's going on. Yeah? That's what could be going on. Remember, a law can always go back to what it was, you know. A new president could come, new prime minister and say, yo, whoosh, yo, change back that. We want the man if you start dealing with 15-year-old girls and all these things. It can happen. You understand what I'm saying to you? Be careful and be watchful. And people watch your blood clot kids as well, because it's dangerous out here. One order. Bad Mind TV, respect.